This historic place was the site of some of the most dramatic and important events of the Vietnam War. It was also the venue for key events in the post-war reunification of Vietnam after 1975. On your right side now is Lake One Boulevard, the main city street leading to the palace. On
Đi
April
quanh Dinh Độc Lập, máy hát quay rồi.
People's Army of Vietnam attacked the palace. Tank number 843, commanded by Lieutenant Huy Quan Thuận, crashed into the main gate and knocked it down. Tank number 390, commanded by Lieutenant Yang Duan, was the first to enter the palace grounds. If you look to your left at the front of the palace, you can see the flagpole where Lieutenant Thuận lowered the flag of the South Vietnamese government and hoisted the flag of the South Revolutionary Government, thus marking the end of the Vietnam War. Also on the left, you can see two tanks numbered 843 and 390. These are replicas of the first tanks to reach the palace. In front of you is a South Vietnamese F-5 fighter jet. This jet was used by pilot Nguyen Thanh Trung to bomb Independence Palace on April 8, 1975, just 3 weeks before the end of the war. If you look to your right, you will see a small octagon-shaped structure that dates back to the French colonial period. At that time, the building that stood on the site was known as Door of the Palace. You are traveling through a garden that covers 12 hectares in the center of Ho Chi Minh City. Many of the trees you see here are more than 100 years old, and the plants and flowers on the grounds have been collected from various regions across Vietnam. In 1868, French colonial officials chose this location for the new palace of the Governor-General of Cochin-China. The name of the building they constructed here was Northern Palace. In September 1954, Prime Minister Gordon Diem took over Northern Palace and renamed it Independence Palace. In 1962, the original palace building was bombed and severely damaged during a failed assassination attempt against Diem. The palace that you see today was built as a replacement. The new palace was designed by the Vietnamese architect Ngo Viet Vu and completed in 1966. On your right side are tennis courts, which were used prior to 1975 by the President of the Republic of Vietnam and by other high-ranking officials in the South Vietnamese government. Looking at the left wing of the palace, you can see how the architect used carved bracket heads to provide visual connections between the windows on adjacent. Note also the use of a bamboo-shaped facade along the second floor of the building, designed to allow light and air to pass through the second floor. There are several cafes on the grounds of Independence Palace. The cafe right in front of you is the April 30th Cafe, and it is open for breakfast, lunch, and afternoon drinks. Please join us for a meal or a refreshing beverage. The corner of the palace grounds also dates from the colonial period. Prior to 1975, this building served as the headquarters of the Democratic Party, a political party sponsored by the South Vietnamese government. Today, this villa houses an exhibit entitled From Northern Palace to Independence Palace, 1868 to 1966. This exhibit introduces visitors to the history of the old Noradom Palace and to the lives of some of the people who lived in ancient Saigon. Visitors will also learn about the rise and fall of the Mon Diem regime, which ruled South Vietnam from 1954 to 1963, as well as the construction of the new Independence Palace during the 1960s. Through the use of digital media, including video projectors, audio recordings, and interactive touchscreens, this exhibit enables visitors to explore the aspects of the history of the palace that they find most interesting and exciting.
Anh ơi, anh cho em ra cổng luôn được hay ngừng đây? Em đi group ở trên anh cho người kia họ xuống rồi đó. Dạ.
According to South Vietnamese government records, the construction of the new palace cost the equivalent of about $2.3 million when it was built in the 1960s. At that time, $1 was worth about 120 South Vietnamese dollars. It was by far the largest and most expensive building in Saigon at that time. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our tour of the Independence Palace grounds. We invite you now to begin your tour of the interior of the palace by entering. Thank you for visiting.
Anh xuống vô thay em ra cổng. Anh có đi ra cổng không?
Thì cái chuyến đi đó tụi nó là tụi nước ngoài mà. Bây giờ bọn anh là đây hướng dẫn, còn mua cái máy hướng dẫn tự động nên là có cái bón cái máy hướng dẫn tự động á, thuyết minh tự động á là 90.000 một máy. Mua không?
Lại đây anh, lại đây anh. Lại đây.
Bắn một cái máy này.
Dạ rồi, anh đi bao nhiêu người ạ?
Một người thôi, mua một máy.
Người thôi, dạ một máy là 90.000 ạ. Dạ cho em xin 90.000 kèm theo một căn cước công dân hoặc là bằng lái xe luôn nha.
Là mình phải
bọn em phải giữ là một cái gì đó ở đây để đặt cọc, cho nên là bọn em phải giữ.
Ấy là thành tuốt hồi là mình trả máy lại hả? Chứ không phải mình mua luôn hả?
Đúng rồi, chỉ thuê máy thôi.
Dạ, đúng rồi. Không, mình thích là mình tưởng đâu là bán luôn, mình mua khi khác là mình nghe.
Dạ, tại vì bọn em chỉ cho mượn máy thôi.
Có nghĩa là thuê máy trong suốt cái quá trình này là mình nói thuê vậy. Có thích nghe không? Mình cứ nghĩ là nó có coi là một cái tài liệu mình định mua thôi, còn ok.
Mỗi người chúng ta sẽ đeo
đây là cái phòng hộp. Đây là chắc là cái phòng hộp nội cót. Đây là chắc là cái phòng hộp nội cót này, bằng bầu dục. Meeting trong phòng hộp, meeting room. Phòng này.